Good afternoon. President-elect Donald Trump has hit out against allegations that Russian intelligence is compromising information about him. In a tweet, Mr. Trump branded the US media reports as fake news and called it a political witch hunt. The New York Times said the dossier had been drawn up by a former British intelligence officer with extensive experience of Russia during the presidential campaign. The Kremlin spokesman said the reports were complete fabrication and utter nonsense. Meanwhile, outgoing President Barack Obama has made an emotional farewell speech in his home city of Chicago. He called on Americans to defend their democracy in a speech that sought to comfort and encourage his country, saying that the US was a better, stronger place than it was 8 years ago when he took office. In his closing remarks, he repeated his 2008 campaign slogan.
I'm asking you to hold fast to that faith written into our founding documents, that idea whispered by slaves and abolitionists, that spirit sung by immigrants and homesteaders and those who marched for justice, that creed reaffirmed by those who planted flags from foreign battlefields to the surface of the moon, a creed at the core of every American whose story is not yet written. Yes, we can.
Leading doctors are heaping pressure on the government to recognize that the NHS is in crisis and in need of an emergency cash injection. In a letter to the Prime Minister, senior medics at the Royal College of Physicians have warned that lives are being put at risk because hospitals are overfull with too few qualified staff. They said they felt compelled to speak up as they worked on the front line in the NHS. A 15-year-old girl has been remanded into secure accommodation after being charged with the murder of a 7-year-old, Katie Ruff. The teenager was arrested after Katie was found seriously injured on a playing field in York on Monday. She later died in hospital. The teenager appeared before magistrates in York, flanked by 2 security guards and a youth offending team manager. She said nothing in the 8-minute hearing. Sainsbury's has reported record sales of more than £1 billion across the group. Supermarket giant says like-for-like sales edged 0.1% higher over Christmas, but warned that the market remains very competitive and the impact of the pound on prices was uncertain. That's the news. We're back tonight at 7 and lunchtime tomorrow.